Okay, collectors, today we're going to talk about books. Books are, in and of themselves, a category of collecting. There are new books published in recent times that cover the war, thousands and thousands and thousands of books on World War II and Nazi Germany. There are some that cover the war themselves and all the different countries involved. But we're going to focus on the types of books typically found in someone who collects Third Reich memorabilia's collection. So the Osprey Company has these small books, and here's one on Germany's East Wall. There's obviously biographies upon biographies, piles and piles of them on all the different generals and high-ranking figures in the Nazi army. Here's one on Rommel. This is another popular type of book published in Russia, I believe, that has a lot of illustrations on the tanks. This one, the Tigers in Italy, and these are mainly pictured books. These Troika, whatever you call it. These are mainly pictures. Very expensive too. These books, some of these books will go for 99 cents. You can't give them away, and then something like this could go for easily $200, and it's really interesting to see how they appreciate over time. One second you'll be able to scoop them for $50, $60, $70, $80, and the next second you know they're at $300 as the books are out of print. So as far as collecting goes, you're going to look for books more like this to help you out, to serve as a reference. Books that start to give specific pictures and close-ups. Here's one on the Iron Cross. And this is the type of stuff you're going to look for, where it highlights little details to help you with authenticity. These are high-end collector books. These are for those who take this hobby very seriously. These are must-have books. I used to have a lot more, although I've sold many since, as my references have since gone digital, and I keep massive files on the computer of close-up pictures, more than any of these books have themselves. So you could say they're in essence outdated, many of them. Here's just one on the maker marks that you're going to find. Really cool. For people who collect all these different SA daggers, might be interested on who exactly these companies are, and their history, and where they came from and what they're up to today. So it's always nice to know the background of the items that you hold. Here's one on Damascus Steel, Nuremberg's Panzer Factory. So you have books on the history going back thousands of years of items, as well as just picture books that get real specific into little known topics. This is a guidebook on the different types of tanks you had. This is an incredible comprehensive look at all the different tanks, from the massive production to just simple prototypes and variants of tanks. Just incredible. Encyclopedia of German Tanks, I recommend that one. And finally, leading up to the Apex, the best type of investment you can make in the hobby. These are just a premier, fantastically put together reference book by Mr. Thomas Durante, who is a well-known figure in the collecting community. You can find a lot of these authors of reference books online at the Wehrmacht Award Forum online, the WAF. It's a forum started about, I want to say, early 2000s. The platform is somewhat dated today, but the participants in it continue to keep it alive and keep the value and tradition going. So a lot of the authors of these books will, you can find them there. So just to take a look, you're going to have brief history. This is the typical outlay of these type of reference books. You can have a brief history of the award, okay? And then you just get right into all the different manufacturers of the awards and the highlights that you want to look for to determine originality. The rivets, the construction, the obverse design, the little die flaws, the hardware on the back, the catch, the different types of hinge, tube, block, short barrel, long barrel, sheet metal, integral, all the terminology, and they get right into it. And I'm going to show you right now. And then they typically go through the badges, then you end up with the cases and paper awards at the end, but our cloth awards. Take a look at all these manufacturers. We're talking about just 2 simple badges here, Luftwaffe and Heer Paratrooper badges, and you've got a whole book, hundreds and hundreds of pages on all these manufacturers, their differences, the different types of material that they use, the different types of hardware, the characteristics they look for, and how to determine fakes, their maker marks, their weights, and their different production runs and sequences of productions. Just incredible. So this is an example of a reference book. This one being the Luftwaffe and Heer Paratrooper badges. That is immensely useful to those who invest big money in the hobby. So there's a little look at books. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.